Hello, Questers. Welcome to 2021 and a whole new year of Age of Sigmar Soulbound adventures. With a few expeditions under their belts and the year's end celebration underway, I asked the players separately what their characters wanted to do. Some of them wanted to meet up with other PCs for some role-playing, and others wanted to pursue their endeavors. In Soulbound, endeavors are a sort of downtime side quest, so these could be a lot of different things, whether they want to do some specific kinds of crafting, network building, remembering lost secrets, perfecting a new skill. When you're playing, you can be as elaborate or as succinct as you want with these. Technically, they could simply be a roll, and you resolve it immediately and move on. But seeing as the players are still learning about their character, I felt it would be really fun to meet up with them in smaller groups and see how they're adapting to their new surroundings. So in this episode, you'll see how some of the party went about pursuing their own character's development. Let's get to it. So the thing about yours, Dylan, is we're gonna not necessarily do a straight up endeavor for you.
Okay.
Because really what you're doing is you're leveling into casting.
Yes.
So yeah, do you want to kind of run people through like what changes you're making?
Yeah, so Meriss is going to be getting super duper interested into, death magic, if you will, but specifically amethyst magic. So she had a brief trip into the world of the dead during the last campaign I was in with Meriss, and that really made her interested on what's going on, what's happening with death. She just had so much death around her, and it was not so much overcoming death, because that would be going the way of necromancy, which is bad, but just more kind of understanding it, endings and death, which is the magic of Shayesh. So she's going to be doing a lot of researching, looking into it, and I can talk about what spells.
Well,
hear more about
okay,
spells, or just background.
Is your character sheet ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So what we're going to do today, I have a few other people coming in later, but what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take you through a few, we're going to see a few scenes from Torlann.
Cool.
So I asked you a little bit before what your quarters were like.
Yes.
So let's try and lay this out a little bit more narratively. Meriss, you're in your chambers inside of the central bastion on Torlann. It's early in the morning, and you're not entirely sure what hour it is, and your nose is filled with the scent of salt wafting in from the waves on the Soulfire Sea. It's incredibly dark in your quarters, lit only by the gentle sway of lantern lights from the hallway outside your door. And these quarters have been yours for the better part of last year since you joined the Storm's Mandate. It's a wide room carved from dark stone and furnished within reason to your requests. Do you want to describe what Meriss's quarters look like?
Yeah, so orderly disarray, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. Her bed's this small thing in the corner that's clearly there not for just for sleeping. It's the bed's unmade. There's dirty clothes, probably clean clothes, strewn across the floor. Colorful clothes, because she likes to wear very colorful things. So the bedspread's probably super colorful. But anywhere that shelves can be put up, they're put up. Whether it's with driftwood, whether it's proper shelves, doesn't matter as long as they're on the wall, secured. And then there's various knickknacks, whether it's stuff that they found during the campaign, whether it's stuff she's picked around Torlann or gifted to her, or stuff that she brought with her. But it's all very orderly on the shelves, but kind of crammed in, including books. Everything up there is well taken care of, but she doesn't really give a shit about what's on the floor, what's on the bed, what's on the desk. And then there's some empty shelves, for anyone that has a lot of cats and have put up cat shelves, I guess. It's for Pickles. So Pickles can climb up and around.
Is this one of those cat tower kind of things?
Yeah, a cat tower, but it's the whole it's across the wall, and there's a little hammock in the corner of the room that Pickles can get away and sleep in at the very top. And so he has little hidey holes all over the place.
That's great. I really dig that. Okay, and so as Meriss is sleeping in this just rank mildewy bed.
Wow. Hey, you know, well, probably not wrong though.
Somewhat,
Cass
to
makes
some
her
degree,
clean her
unkept.
sheets.
Yeah. You're in the dead of night, and suddenly you're just suddenly awake, and you see that light drifting in under the bottom of the door, and you kind of feel this wave of cold kind of pass from the base of your head down through your neck, through your chest, through your stomach, down to your toes, and pass away. And then you feel something else. You actually feel what almost seems like an itch at the base of your cerebellum, and it's this single slender claw that feels like it reaches up into you and scrapes away a troublesome scab that you never knew existed at the base of your brain. And after a brief moment of strange relief from this block being removed, your senses begin to ease, and you start to slip back into a very calm, very serene sleep. And as soon as you start to ease back into to the night, one singular loud hammering strike rings out against your wooden plated door. What do you do?
And she was back into like a dead asleep.
Just before you were able to fall back asleep.
She would Meriss immediately just sit up, like Waking Dead kind of style, like just up bent from the waist and eyes wide, and she goes, Pickles, was that you? And she waits.
Yes, you hear a series of rustling coming from the bookcases. You notice a few papers come flying out, and you see the dim light of a Mustori peek out from a nook. And it's always a new nook, and she just watches you.
Now, not Pickles? A different Mustori?
No, sorry, that is Pickles. Is Pickles a boy?
Pickles is a boy.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay. I was like, oh my god, yes, a new Mustori, yes.
No, I don't think the fan base could handle two Pickles.
One would be Pickles and the other would be... Anyway, so that's a whole other...
Pickles and
Cutes. Right. Oh. So she looks at Pickles and confirms that, like, Pickles is there, okay? And she's like, okay, Pickles, did you hear that? And, like... all right, okay, well, just hold on to your horses. I'm gonna get out of bed. And she's been around Cass way too much, apparently. And she, like, throws back the covers, gets up, and just starts, like, goes to the door and, like, starts opening the door up because it sounded like it was coming from outside her room.
Sure, yeah. It's kind of probably what you would imagine. It's a big, heavy, wrought iron lock. And yeah, you lift the door handle up and it kind of comes off of its hinges. It's heavy for a moment until it hits its swing. And the hallway opens. You see nothing immediately in front of you. You only see a series of lanterns, going down the hallway. You're in the upper chambers of Storm's Mandate in the tower itself. And there's this is primarily sleeping quarters, a few offices and personal effects up here. But you look back and forth, and you don't hear anything or see anything.
Meriss kind of sniffs the air, just like, does it smell like magic?
Yes, actually. Do an awareness mind. It'll be 4-3.
Awareness mind. I feel like I have nothing in awareness. Okay. Like 3d6. 3 successes.
Hey, nice. Okay,
all
cool.
4s.
That's great. So you're going to notice 3 things. 1, you notice from around the corner going down the hallway, it kind of, bends very slightly. You see a small light. You can't really catch quite the detail on it, but you almost see what looks like a flame go bouncing down the hallway and out of sight. The second thing you notice, you hear from behind you on the shelves a brief sizzle and pop.
Oh.
And then the third thing, as you're about to turn and look, you actually spot out of the corner of your eye a figure in the hallway looking down. you notice it is a Stormcast Eternal, roughly 8 feet tall in gleaming white plate armor with blue trim and with a completely shaved head and pale eyes, just quietly staring down the hallway.
Is it someone that I would recognize from Torlann?
You would recognize this person. This appears to be Lawless Hammersword.
Lawless? Did you see that?
Lawless doesn't say anything. You do know that Lawless is a mute. But also as well, but that's okay. You would still be talking. You would still.
To mute people.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, clearly.
My point is, there's no verbal response, but you actually notice there's no immediate physical reaction either.
And there was a sizzle and pop behind.
Yeah.
And back in my room.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn around. Meriss turns around and look behind her because what is the sizzle and pop was Pickles.
Sure. You notice on the top shelf. Actually, I need to get my big metal dice out here and do a very quick roll.
Prepare for satisfying sound.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, good for Pickles. So you hear after a few moments... of scurrying, you notice Pickles dip back into the bookcase, and you spot almost this effect happening where certain books are getting pushed out slightly. You see a bright light illuminating the back of these books, and you see kind of almost this back and forth of books getting kind of pushed out. You see a page go flying out and turn to ash in the air, and you spot before too long, you see Pickles come bursting out of the bookcase, clawed arms wrapped around this little ball of fire. And you actually notice it has hands and feet. And as this little fireball, begins to push it gets thrown from the shelf, its little hands dig into a large black slate on your shelf. And its hands dig in and pulls, and you see this trio of Moose Story, Little Fireball, and Black Slate come careening off the shelf and onto the floor. And after a moment you see Pickles rear back on his back legs, arms at the side, claws out, and you see the Fireball kind of do the same. It's got his little fists kind of rotating in front of it. You see it glare. And it has this big, wide, cartoonish maw of these flaming fangs, and they look at each other. They're roughly the same size.
Meriss doesn't really miss a beat. I mean, she's watching it go on, mm-hmm. But when they get into fighter stance, she just stares at both of them and goes, "Hey, stop that! Both of you, right now! What do you think you're doing? Who are you? Why are you in my room? Why are you lighting things on fire?" And she's gonna step up towards them, she's gonna slowly push them apart. But let's see if she's gonna see if it talks to her first.
Okay. You see it look at Pickles. Pickles kind of gives it a dirty stare. And this little ball of fire kind of looks at you. And you see it actually do a Intuition Mind. Intuition Mind 4-2.
Intuition Mind. Yeah. Wait, I have to roll one more, right? Yes, one more. 4-2?
Mm-hmm.
3 successes.
Okay. You can tell that this thing does not want to be here. And you saw it look, as it looked over its shoulder, it actually looked towards the window.
Is it still holding onto the slate, or is the slate on the ground?
No, it let go as they hit the ground.
Okay.
The slate's pretty large. It's kind of the size of a book.
Okay, but I could lift it.
Yes.
So I slowly walk over, kind of half crouching, like you do with the skittish animal, and I'm reaching for the slate, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just do you need to leave? Did you bring this?
It kind of furrows a brow and watches you, and it starts to kind of sidle back.
Okay. I'm like, okay, well, thank you for the gift. And I look down at the slate to see if I can read it first, if there's anything on it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. As you kind of look away from it and look down, you see this little creature make a couple large bounds and go careening out the window. And you hear after a few moments, and as you look at this,
did it land in the water and die?
as you look down at this slate, it doesn't seem to have a specific set of text written on it. What I'd like you to do is do an Arcana mind check.
Ooh, this is a good time to roll some forbidden knowledge.
Up to you.
Yeah, let's do some forbidden knowledge check on this. So I get double training. Yeah, okay. So 5. What am I rolling for?
Oh, Arcana mind 5-2.
2 successes.
Nice, nicely done. Okay, so from your study. Actually, I'll let you kind of maybe fill this in terms of how you know it. But you actually recognize this. These slates are made from the sands of Shaiish, and they are refined and compressed into these tablets. And they have different properties depending on how they were formed and what is kind of cast upon them. You can kind of almost consider them a storage of a spell. And as you kind of like look at this thing and paw it over, you feel that tingling in the back of your head, and you feel that relief that you'd felt before really resonate as you hold up this tome. And as you do so, you now know those spells that you listed before.
just absorb them out of the slate. Damn, dark. And sorry, you're wanting me to fill in background on why she's aware of it?
I'm curious. You'd mentioned before that Meriss has done some scholarly endeavors, right?
Yeah, so part of it was I had mentioned she had essentially inherited pickles from her grandfather, so a little bit from him, because he was one of the trade pioneers that would try to go after help, whether it was different mages, go after endless spells. So she absorbed some of the knowledge from him and inherited a lot of his books. So Arcana was a big one, and curious about chaos demons as well, but she's read a lot about Shaiish and different realm gates and what is it? I think the realm stone for Shaiish as well. She just found it the kind of dark bits fascinating, and then just her exposure with so much
kind of her teen years where everyone's into mythology and stuff, right?
She's little too much eyeliner, right? And before she realized she likes color in her life. But the interest was always there, and then a lot that's happened with her, with the Soulbound and everyone dying. She's I'm going to read more about this and just become more familiar with amethyst magic in general. So she's already aware of it, the fringes, but hasn't dipped a toe or cannonballed in yet. And I guess this is her cannonballing into it.
Yeah. Awesome. And you feel these spells. So you have you chose 5, you said, right?
Well, yeah. So there's the 2 that you pick just in general when you get channeling. That's Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield. And then you can pick one of the magic. So I picked the Amethyst magic, which is more Death Shaiish magic. And then you can pick 4. Do you want me to go over them?
Might as well. I mean, we don't need to maybe talk about the mechanics of it, but just as a high level, what did you pick?
Yeah, so there is Knight's Touch. So she essentially slips into the realm of the spirits and can walk through things for 1 minute. So it's kind of like a roguey spell. Dying Words, she can reanimate a recently deceased. Well, not reanimate because that's more necro-y, but bring a spirit back to recently deceased and ask them a question. Soul Steal, where she can essentially, steal, your soul life energy and heal yourself. and then unnatural darkness just to like obscure the party, so you can move around in like magical darkness, and it's difficult to like hit or see everyone in the party.
That's super cool. Yeah, I really dig these spells. These are actually I don't recognize a lot of these from the game, like the OG game. So it seems like there's some really interesting options here.
Some of them were pretty like beefy and terrifying, and like the DN, and like I was like, oh god, because like I read up an endless spell, like for example, like one of the Shayesh endless spells, and I think it's like a big eye in
Purple sun.
Yeah,
purple sun. Yeah, it's got a spooky face.
Themes, but I also really wanted her to be a little bit more supportive. So, like, it was interesting to see how many of these spells were like they could be supportive. Whether it's like, you know, talk to the dead, walk through walls, or like obscure, and then the one is like she's gonna steal your life to heal herself.
Yeah, that's pretty dark. I do like this quite a bit. Yeah. Awesome. So now you have your spells. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
Go see where that, like, she's gonna test it out. So if she's suddenly like read the slate, and like this knowledge is just kind of like suddenly appearing, she's gonna clutch the slate and she's gonna try to walk through some walls. Like, why not?
Ooh,
like,
okay, cool.
Let's go. Like, I wonder whose room's closest to her. Like just walk into Bort's room while he's sleeping.
Okay, well, I'll say on there'd be two sides of you with the way that this goes. On one side, you actually don't know what's in there. That's been a room that you haven't gone into yet.
Oh.
On the other side, I think that would actually be...
I feel like she would probably go into a room she doesn't know what's in there.
Sure.
Like, that makes it more exciting and fun.
Sure, that makes sense. Rather than doing some night lurking.
And I'm just reading up on the spell really quick. So, any equipment you're holding or wearing becomes insubstantial as well. You can speak, but you can't interact. You can't open doors. Okay, cool. So, I wondered, as a DM, would this also mean that Pickles could come along for a ride?
Do you consider Pickles equipment?
Yes. I mean, I feel like probably using it to another living being probably wouldn't work. So
that's kind of where I'm at too. Like, I think like if you can't bring like
a person,
Okri with you, you can't bring Pickles with you.
Yeah. So Meriss looks over at Pickles and goes, "Okay, Pickles, you stay right here. I gotta try something. Okay, you be a good little boy." Like pat.
He's a
great
Muppet
pickle
now.
Sounds. Yeah, great pickle sounds. Yeah. Cool. So, magic. I have not done magic before.
Okay, cool. So you're going to do a channeling test.
Oh, okay.
Channeling mind and DN5 too, yeah.
Sweet. I'm glad I beefed up my channeling.
What is your channeling pool?
5d6 plus 1.
Nice. Okay.
So I think I took everything I just dumped into spellcasting, and I think I added... No, yeah, everything went into spellcasting, and I think I upped my survival. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So that was... What did I say it was? DN52. Okay, here we go. Ooh, so 3 successes, and then because I got an additional success, I get an extra minute.
Very nice.
2 minutes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so you cast this on yourself, and you feel yourself. At first, you don't really know like whether or not you've done anything, and then you kind of like look up again, and you kind of see everything kind of illuminated. It's as if it's like black and white dust kind of everywhere. You know, everything's made up of this. And yeah, you're able to move.
She's going to go up towards the wall that's like, because she knows there's a room next door, and she's going to just like kind of stare at this wall. There's a bunch of tchotchkes on there and other items, and just kind of like, yes.
I'm sorry. I need to ask. You wrote that down to me, and I thought you misspelled khakis. What is a tchotchke?
So tchotchkes are just like, it's actually I didn't even spell it right, but it's a Yiddish word, and it's just kind of for like knickknacks, or like
Oh,
ornamental trinkets, or like I think about when you buy stuff in a like when you travel, like you're a tourist and you go into a tourist shop and you buy some
that's cool.
tchotchkes.
Yeah, that's cool. I learned something. All right.
Yeah, so she's kind of slipped partially into the spirit realms, if you would, because that's how they can walk through stuff. And she's just kind of like, okay, what? All right. And she's like reaches out to try to grab one of her tchotchkes, like a little horse figurine, and like her fingers just go through it. She's like, okay, all right, let's try this. Like, she's inside her mind, like thinking, okay, that's kind of freaky. And then she just walks forward and just starts pushing herself through the wall.
Yeah. And there's a very kind of strange moment as you push through this wall to the next room. You see it for the first time, and yeah, this door had always been barricaded, like, quite firmly. It's actually like, whereas most doors are like, wood with wrought iron bars, this one had been, solidly metal reinforced. And as you walk inside, you spot a bit of a familiar sight. You see a single stone, almost like bed tablet in the middle of the room, on top of which you see a figure, a pale figure, its arms stretched wide, its ribcage split open, and a face lacking eyes, almost looking at you as you enter the room. And you realize that this is Arania Saltspire's quarters. And she, as you can tell from her personal effects, and you realize that while she is not in here at the moment, this is the thrall that you found in the bosom of the mercenary.
Oh, that's right, because she was gonna like autopsy on it, or look over the body, because she had the body dragged out of the office, I think. But it's in her quarters? Like, this is her quarters, and she took the body into her quarters? Am I understanding correctly?
You're correct. Yeah.
Okay. That's fucking creepy, can I just say? And you said that, so when you said that, like, a slab, like, is it just, like, a slab for the body to be on, or is, like...
You can imagine, like, a stone carved, like... Are people going to know what if I say ottoman? Does that make sense to non-Canadians?
So it's on top of a thing. It's not like a slate that she can read.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Correct. She's gonna poke around a bit more just to see like what was she doing? Like what is going on here?
Sure. You spot a series of ledgers and books. You notice that some of the internal organs have been removed from the thrall and have been put in jars. And you actually notice that Aranis's personal effects and bedding and everything is pretty much unused. And instead of that, there's been like blankets, laid over top of them, and there's a big map drawn up on the wall as well.
After looking at the body, just for like, because she's desensitized at this point, I guess, like for like a few more moments, because she's got about 2 minutes. So
what? Yeah, you had 3 minutes total.
2 minutes, because it was 1 minute, and then every additional success is one. So 2 total.
But it was just 2 total. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to pass.
You're just over 1 minute left.
Okay.
I would say. Yeah.
She's gonna go over to the map and like start reading it. Like, what is this?
Sure. Do a awareness mind. Let's see what we can tell you.
Awareness mind. What was I rolling for?
Awareness mind. Just tell me the amount of successes.
What was the DN?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you do need to know that. That's on a 4.
0.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was doing so well up until reading a map.
Yeah, I don't know. It's written in a handwriting that must be some foreign language that you're not familiar with.
Okay. So I'm assuming like an Arcana, like that's not going to help me.
Not on this map.
Fuck. Does the land, like, does it look familiar at all? Like, does it look like Can I even? Is it? I failed so hard I can't tell if
no,
it's.
You'd be able to tell it's like the local area.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna search around a little bit more, but is there anything else of interest outside of body jars and a map? Investigate the body. Yeah, investigate the body some more.
Yeah. So, what do you want to do?
I just want to see if there's like Meriss's my assumption is that like it's an autopsy, but it's kind of strange the body's in her private quarters. So like trying to see like is there some weird magic stuff going on here? Is there like any runes? Is there anything that points outside of this being like an autopsy?
I don't think that's a role. That would be up to you to determine like the origin of it or the cause of it, but I can tell you about what you see.
Tell me about what I see.
So what do you looking at? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So anything suspicious? I mean, one, it's suspicious that the body's in her private quarters,
but it's for you to intuit what's
And like, I guess it's like, okay, she's trying to like reason why I forgot her name.
Aranius Spikesworn.
Aranius has this body in there, and is she doing anything untoward with the body? She trying to raise it from and so like anything when I say that, like if it's just the body, like investigating it more so.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's do an investigation. Yeah, intuition mind makes sense because it's the ability to sense the ambience of an environment and feel the tension if something's wrong or out of place.
Ooh, perfect.
Okay, cool. So do an intuition on let's do intuition mind on 5s and tell me how many you get.
Okay. Better than the map.
Yeah.
1.
Okay.
And I rolled 4 dice.
So you don't see anything overtly arcane here. Mm-hmm. This seems like it is I don't know if it'd be medical necessarily is the right term for it, but this seems like it's a very like literal dissection of the body. It's not like being raised or it's not being summoned or anything like that. You can kind of tell. You do know that this has been kind of off and on in progress for it's probably been a week since you all first went to the Bosom of Mercy. It's been here for a while.
So does it not smell in the room like rotting body?
So you notice that it's almost been like salted when you're looking at it, and it's been dried. So you actually notice that the Namarti's face kind of the lips are kind of like curled back, and the pointed elven ears are kind of like curled in as well.
And I've been sleeping next to this for a week. What?
You never know what's in the next apartment. Yeah.
With the time clicking down, and like Meriss doesn't want to risk getting stuck in the room, she's gonna do like one last look around and head back to her bedroom.
Okay. I think that's probably it. I think unless you're on your way out and you want to do like a very last awareness, but I think that's probably it.
I don't think I'm gonna get higher than I did. I got three successes before, so Meriss is gonna just stare at the wall and be like, "All right, let's not get stuck halfway through," and just and then she just kind of puts her head down and charges through.
Okay. And as you make your way back through the wall, you pop back into existence, and you spot Pickles, clutching in his hands a little strip of fabric that he knew belonged to you, wrapping it around himself and shivering slightly.
Like a little babushka just like around his head, and he's just...
There's some really good opportunity for fan art this episode.
Little babushka! Pickles! And Meriss just runs forward, picks him up. Are you okay? And like clutches, like tucks him into her shirt.
Yeah, Pickles is relieved that you're back, but overall a little unsettled.
Okay. And and the slate's still there?
Slate's still there.
Okay, Meriss is gonna pick it up and look at it again if there's anything else, and if there isn't, she's gonna hide it under her bed.
Sure. As you pick it up, and because before you were able to tell you almost had this weird kind of energy connection with it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of almost feels just like a rock right now. But yeah, you're able to stow it successfully.
There's a dead elf being dissected and turned into jerky next door. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. Sleep well, Meriss. Sleep well in our fun side episode.
Someone's got some explaining to do.
Hey, I'm Sam. Feryl for those unfamiliar. Sorry, I haven't been around much. Real life and all that, plus a day job that kind of kills me. Good thing I've shown the ability to come back to life, right? So, first off, thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We have another Endeavor episode next week. Then after that, we're back to our regular scheduled adventuring. Our next episode is on January 13th, so mark that down in your daybooks. You can catch us on Spotify or wherever else podcasts live and thrive. And don't forget to hit us with some reviews on Apple Podcasts. Thanks much. All right then, well that's it for me. Back to the episode, or guess it's my turn. Take it away, Dave.
With these past events, we're coming up on what's called Year's End in the Age of Sigmar universe. And on the giant Turtle Island ship of Torlann, you are seeing red and green pennants being hung outside the castle walls, small lanterns hanging, casting lights onto the building in various shapes of hammers and lightning bolts and trees. There's a general sense of merriment going around the island. It is a little bit meager compared to other year's end festivals you've experienced in the past. The food supplies here on the island are quite low, so everyone is consisting on oats and carrots, and the liquor supply is down to bathtub gin. But throughout all this, everyone is trying to make good however they can. And I know, maybe we should establish it a little bit. I don't know if we've really, I don't know if Meriss and Feryl have really talked too much, in the setting. So I'm not sure how you two want to kind of take this, but we can kind of talk through it.
I don't think much has happened with me. I'm pretty mellow still. Mellow with, kind of disapproving
we'll
edge to
that.
Everything. Yes, I need to have some death and suffering in my life. Oh, God.
Meriss is still gonna be chit-chatting and probably would want to at least because Feryl's a part of the soul binding minus the soul, I guess, right?
Yep, that's right. So Stormcast don't have access to Soulfire. They don't have their souls bound together. But instead, Stormcasts are forged from lightning, and basically they are when they die, they're reforged and they return to the world.
Yeah, so I think Meriss would probably keep Feryl up to date to some degree because Feryl that was the first Feryl, Bort, and was it
Cass?
Who else?
And Meriss,
Cass. That was her first excursion really out in the world. So I would say they probably still chat, but Meriss is probably a little closer Cass especially because all the shit they've been through.
And I'm definitely more aloof. Yeah, I'm still a baby Stormcast, so I'm kind of finding my common ground with everyone still, and the weird memory spots that are missing in my recollections are kind of disturbing, just a bit.
Mm-hmm. As part of Gromerstown and Glades Edge, becoming part of Storm's mandate, several representatives from those islands have come to the island, coming to Torlann to meet with a few folks. So, you see. In the central dining hall that's been set up, you see some drinks being had, toasts being made. They've invited the Binding to come as a little bit of a mixer. You see in the background, you see Frostglade kind of standing stiffly in the corner. You see Cass and Okri, sharing a drink and having a laugh. Bort is being aloof, and the rest. That's literally just phallus. But Feryl, you kind of arrive maybe a little bit late to this get together, and Meriss spots you, What do you guys say?
Hey, Feryl.
I raise one eyebrow in mild apprehension. Hi.
How's it going?
It goes.
That doesn't sound like it goes very well.
I mean, it goes as good as it gets. It looks like people are having fun. We're making the best out of the situation. I could always do with more food, but we're getting by. So
maybe have a sit and a hangout. Maybe you want to play with Pickles. And like Pickles jumps out and is like really unsure about Feryl because he's super intimidated by her, and he's just kind of like waves a little paw.
I'm gonna reach a tentative hand toward Pickles.
And Pickles is just gonna climb right on her.
Strange creature. Hello, friend.
What's the name of Feryl's bird?
Oh yeah,
Gina, the Aetherwing, right?
Yes.
How does Gina interact with Pickles?
Oh no! What have I done?
So, I'm gonna assume that Pickles is on one shoulder and Gina's gonna be on the other one at this point. Gina's gonna be staring very hard at Pickles, like laser focus.
Maybe I'll... Go ahead.
I am not paying attention to Gina right now. I'm just looking at this creature on my other arm, and then I feel movement on my shoulder. Gina, what are you doing? What? No, stop! No! Oh wait,
Meriss
go.
is like too short to grab Pickles off of.
Go. This is a friend.
Pickles is terrified. I think he scuttles down into the gap between Feryl's pauldron and her gorget.
He'll come out. He'll come out when he can. Maybe Gina should go for a fly.
No claws, please. That does not feel good.
Can I help?
No. Gina, please go up there. No, don't give me that stare. Go.
So, and Meriss is just like staring at Gina as she flies away.
Yep, she flies up to the rafters.
Well, how have you been, Feryl? I mean, you sound kind of down.
This year, it's been strange. Sorry, I feel little claws. You can come out now,
Pickles!
It's safe.
Pickles! And
she won't hurt you.
Pickles hops out and just jumps back on Meriss's shoulder and, like, eventually squirrels his way somewhere inside of her coat to hide for the rest of the episode.
Never to be seen again.
Well, I mean, like, the soul binding got together, and, I mean, we got to go on that adventure, like, back on the ship, and a bunch of other stuff happened. I mean, what have you been doing on Torlann?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah?
I'm finding it hard to remember things. I'm not saying I've developed a goldfish memory. I can remember what I had to eat this morning. And I can remember what I did last night, but...
Do you remember our fight? Not us fighting. I mean, like, with the fish, and the eel, and the elf.
I do. It's the things in my past that are troubling me. Certain things bring up memories, but the memories are unclear. I suppose everyone has issues remembering specifics, but I feel like there's a block somewhere. Like, I'm forgetting things that I really shouldn't be, and it's kind of scaring me, if I'm being honest.
That sounds really scary. I couldn't imagine, like, forgetting, I don't know, my family? My grandpa? What have you tried to I don't know much about memories, but like have you tried to talk to the others, like Stormcast? Are there maybe could you try going home?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, for sure.
Do Stormcasts get together and have meetings about memory loss, like memory loss AA meetings?
So yeah, that's a great question. So I mean, the reforging, as it's called, is something that pretty much all Stormcasts go through over time, right? Depending on the state in which a soul passes through. I'm not sure if we've really decided how many times Feryl has died. I think we maybe just said once.
I think it was, yeah. It wasn't
Okay.
very many times. I'm like fresh
Yeah.
Baby Stormcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby's first Stormcast. So I would say that, like, her previous life, right, her only real life,
Yeah.
that she's had. I think that she would feel, certain glimpses of it, get like the general impression of it, but it's like you can see a painting, but it's so blurry.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you can kind of get a sense of like what you think is there, but when you actually dig back, it might be wrong or whatever. But yeah, there are other Stormcasts that kind of go through something similar. And the more Stormcast is reforged,
the more they forget.
So is that? I guess that's what we don't know of, like how common knowledge that is.
Amongst the Stormcast, it's fairly known.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, and Feryl's like a baby Stormcast, like maybe she hasn't done much chatting with other Stormcasts. I don't know. Is she super does she isolate herself a whole bunch?
Oh yeah, she likes being alone. Very much.
What was that Stormcast lady's name again, Dave?
Arrhenius?
Arrhenius.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Feryl, maybe we could go. I'm sorry, I'm jumping right back in. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Arrhenius. I have to say it a few times, remember. I'm forgetting Meriss's voice. Give me a second. I'm going to have to talk like this for a second. There we go. So, Feryl, maybe we could go ask Arrhenius. She might know. It seems like she's been around for a long, scary time.
Do you think she would be able to? I mean, I don't want to bother her.
Well, that's what she's kind of there for. I mean, maybe not to bother, but she knows her stuff, and she's like you, or you're like her.
Yeah, I'm like her. Yeah, I mean, we could. What if I don't like her answers?
Well, I guess the question is, do you want answers?
I do, but I'm afraid.
It's okay to be afraid. I'm afraid. And Meriss just kind of like, her voice shakes a little bit. She's like, I'm afraid a lot. Like, if I wasn't afraid, I don't know if I'd be alive right now.
Yeah, I understand.
Meriss kind of like reaches out, and I don't, if there's no, if she's wearing her armor, she's just going to kind of like tap a nail on the armor or like tug at some material and just being like, and while curiosity might have killed the cat, at least she learned what she wanted to know. She thinks this sounds reassuring. It may or may not be.
You are right, little one. You are.
Well, then what are we waiting for?
Lead on.
Meriss just starts walking in a random direction.
So you would probably remember from before. I mean, well, earlier tonight, in fact, there's a couple of places that Arrhenius tends to frequent. One is her quarters, and the other is the little lighthouse beacon at the head of Torlann's shell.
That's where Meriss is going to go.
Cool. That's yeah.
Right.
We're not going back to her. Wait, in chronological order, does Meriss have her death powers now?
She does. Yeah.
Okay.
This happens
Oh
later.
God!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So Meriss now has dark death magic.
Okay. So this is what your suffering has wrought.
Yes. Come on, Feryl, keep up.
Would I know that?
I don't think so, unless Meriss had disclosed it. There wouldn't have been an opportunity for that to be like known, unless Meriss has decided to mention it.
No, I think Meriss is gonna keep this a little bit under lock and key, and we'll have a nice surprise reveal at whatever next campaign.
Then I shall spare my gimlety eye.
onto the lighthouse.
So yeah, you approach, and sure enough, Aranius did not attend the revelry. But as you approach, you hear the telltale signs of someone moving through boxes and tools inside the lighthouse.
Sorry, I was muted to burp. Meriss is like, I assume there's a door on the lighthouse. It's not all open.
No, sealed to all access. She's never getting out. What do you do? Roll for initiative. Yes, there's a door.
Meriss just runs up and just like, did that sound okay?
That sounded
nice.
great.
Wait, one more time.
It's open.
Aranius?
Yes.
Hi, it's Meriss and Feryl.
It's open.
Hello.
Meriss just like push opens the door and like ushering Feryl through if she's not moving quick enough.
Oh no, I'm not. Very tentative. Very tentative.
Yeah. So you see Aranius. She has her back to you. She's working on a rather large workbench. She has her Sigmarite armor on a rack along the side. You see like this 8-foot tall gargantuan human. She's got these kind of scars running down the length of her back, and these kind of tattoos kind of like spiraling up along her ribcage through to her neck. She casts a glance back. Yes, how may I help you?
Meriss is just full open staring at this point because she has not seen Aranius like this before, and is a little slack jawed, and then like kind of like catches herself and straightens up and Feryl Feryl, we had some questions about being a stormcast. Feryl, do you wanna? And like she tries to elbow Feryl, but just kind of elbows armor.
I'm sorry. If this is a bad time, we can leave. I don't want to intrude.
There's no intrusion, sister. So long as it's for the cause of Sigmar and felling of evil, I'm happy to assist you in whatever you need.
I
told you so! Fine.
She folds her arms and leans back against the workshop. What's on your mind?
I'm forgetting things. I don't know what to do. It's odd, but it's also troubling because I know who I am, but only to the extent of what I can remember. If I can't remember my past, then who am I really?
She kind of thinks for a moment and kind of like gazes wistfully out a window, but kind of glances back. There's some freedom in not knowing who you were and forging who you want to be.
But
who I am now does not resemble the form that I was when I was mortal.
But my history, my past, it's important, and I feel like more and more I'm forgetting the connections I made to my old life.
And you want to seek out what you've lost?
I want to remember the important things, the important people, the ones that made me worthy.
Well, there's multiple ways brothers and sisters have been able to seek out almost catalysts for your memory. Anything you could imagine, you could follow a lead. If you can see something in your mind's eye, some kind of vision that might come to you, and whether it's a dream or a waking vision in the middle of a throw of combat, you can seek it. You can lock into it and try and chase that one thing down, and eventually, like a spiraling of threads, it might eventually weave a picture whole.
But won't I just forget it again? How can I remember? How can I keep these memories once I found them? If I find them.
You could write them down.
You're not wrong.
What do you remember, sister?
I remember a tall man. I think he was my father. But I don't know where he is. I don't remember his voice or his face, or how he talked.
Do you remember how you feel? Or how do you feel when you think about him?
I don't feel happy, but I feel proud. But there is some apprehension there. I don't know. It's muddy.
I want to do a roll here, and I think this is going to reflect kind of this group, working with you to try and do everything. So it's going to be a soul attribute check for sure. I think what makes sense here. Determination soul.
All right.
So Feryl, I want you to roll that. So do you remember how to do a check like that?
I think so.
It's been a long time.
I've got Soul 3, and I've got nothing in Determination, so...
Okay.
3d6.
3d6, but Meriss, do you have a rank in Determination?
Sure don't. Nope.
Okay.
I got a
but
2d6.
Aranius does. So she's going to help you. And she's going to actually lend you 2d6 to work on this check.
Oh, nice. 6, 4, 5, 4, 2.
Oh, you got 4 successes. It was on a 4.
Yes.
You smell that memory. Like you're
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You live it. You smell, you taste. Holy shit.
Dude, I remember every single detail in like...
I'm not the DM. I'm sorry.
Super sharp focus.
You are standing atop a fortress on legs. It's moving, it's walking back and forth. You see a giant wall ahead of you, like the height of which you've never seen, standing and flanking a mountain behind it. You see these wide black wings rip out from the sides, and you hear the screech of a fell dragon swooping towards the castle as legions of troops march towards you. You feel the fortress rock back and forth as steady machine-like steps work closer and closer and closer. You know that you are going towards the walls of this bastion, and you were going to go beyond. Why were you going to go beyond? There was a reason. There's a gate, but there's a queen and a nomad, and you had friends, and there was a giant. There was an ogre, there was a human, there was an orc for a point of time. What's going on? And then it dissipates in front of you.
Oh, what was that?
You remembered.
It was so much.
Was there anything that stood out? Did you, was there any, could you describe anyone or the places or, smells or sights?
Oh, I remember death. I remember friends.
What did they look like?
There's one in a cloak. I can't see his face, but I think he was a doctor.
Your doctor?
No, someone I was with. I remember a large friend. I remember someone devout, like me. But also not.
Meriss is
the meta of that makes me really laugh, Sam. I like that quite a bit. Miss you, James. Love you, buddy.
Meriss is low-key taking notes. Shorthand.
I remember losing friends. I remember blood falling from the sky. I remember unbeatable odds. And something with many eyes that followed me around.
Yeah, as you say that, Feryl,
Yep.
as you remember the single red eye, you felt it hanging from your chest. You felt like the eye was in your chest. And actually, as you do that, you remember a name, Cataris Voth. It rings clearer than any memory you've had.
I remember a name. Do I still have that necklace by any chance?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have gone away when you were reforged because you don't have any of your possessions anymore.
Gone with the wind. One thing stands out more sharp than everything else. Cataris Voth. Who is that? Why do I remember that? Who is that? Either of you, do you know that name? Cataris Voth.
Meriss, go ahead and roll a lore mind check.
Ooh. Okay.
It's going to be a 6-1.
Okay. 1 success.
Oh, you did? Okay, all right. All right, nicely
6,
done.
4, and 1.
Cataris Voth was the sorceress queen of Bastion, one of the larger city in the realm of beasts, or Gur. You know that Bastion was destroyed a few years ago, and you know that there were people that fled from Giran into from Gur into Giran and beyond. Now, there were rumors that Voth was. You got one success?
Yes.
Okay. There are rumors that Cataris Voth is somewhere in the criminal underworld.
And sorry, she was a queen?
Yeah, she's like a sorceress queen.
Of Bastion, and she was in Bastion when it fell?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was the queen of Bastion.
Or
yeah.
Queen of Bastion. Okay. Cool. So when Feryl asks us, Meriss's eyes just kind of like light up, and she like sits up a little bit straighter and go, Cataris Voth?
Yes.
She's a sorceress queen. She was queen of Bastion when Bastion fell. That was like, and Meriss starts counting on her fingers. She's like, it was years ago. I don't remember how many years, but were you there when Bastion fell?
Oh, God. I think so. There was so much going on.
Is that how you died?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I know someone died. I don't think it was me.
Well,
Well, that sounds like a place to start, like any. If you can find Cataris Voth, sounds like she might have some answers.
I was going to say that.
Oh, look at that. We're on the same wavelength and everything. Oh, high fives, everyone.
Meriss is like, I don't want to touch her after what I saw in her bedroom. Nope.
Wait, what was in her bedroom?
Oh, we'll get to that later.
Oh, God.
So Meriss is just like sitting on her hands.
I give her a wilted look and I give her a high five, but it's like
I want to make it clear she was sarcastic. She was nowhere near offering a high five.
No, Feryl, don't leave a girl hanging.
I'm gonna put my hand up anyways. It's gonna be like half-hearted. And then I'm gonna kind of wither a bit and realize that she didn't literally mean it, and then put my hand down.
On a complete side note, though, I imagine 2 Stormcasts high-fiving will just sound like a crack of thunder and lightning.
Literally a thunderclap? Yeah,
thunderclap. Well, how far is Bastion? I should know this. How far is Bastion?
Bastion is literally like a world away. Like with the way the realms work, you could imagine different planes of existence that like overlap each other, almost like dimensions. Now, imagine like discs that have like gateways and portals between them. So while Bastion is an unfathomable distance away, you could travel through these different realms through gateways.
And that's something. Well, Arcana and like. She has a little bit of knowledge about realm gates. That was, I think, part of her forbidden knowledge. But
yeah, that's true. So that would kind of be like the general understanding of the world that people would know. But if you want to roll that, I could totally give you more information.
I'm gonna roll. Let's go for it. Ooh, wait. I don't know if I want to accidentally get Doom in an endeavor.
Live dangerously.
Okay, here.
I will always say that, by the way. I mean, like, don't let me goad you into it.
No, it's
peer
really
pressure.
Do you, Feryl?
Do
you want to know more about Bastion?
I do. I want to know my old life. I want to know.
Okay. Here I go.
Oh, God.
Do you want me to tell?
It'll be 4S, so just tell me how many 4s you get. Yeah.
I'm praying to those dice gods.
Oh. And I get to flip one, but it doesn't matter. I got a 6, 4, and a 5.
Okay. All right, that's not too bad. So you know that the portal, the Bastion Realm Gate, went to Giran, which is the realm of life. But you also know that where it ended was not a far stretch from other free cities and waterways and other gates. So Honestly, like there's a high probability that, after something like Bastion fell, the next point of order would be for anyone in the in those areas to move. So the distance of Bastion to you might not be a relevant factor here. You'd have to start investigating if there's any rumors about her or anything like that.
Whoever like the transplants are after
Yeah.
Bastion fell. Cool.
Yeah.
So Feryl, like it's a little bit to travel to Bastion, but like when Bastion fell, not everyone died. Like I assume, like people would have to go somewhere, and they'd likely leave and travel to other cities and ports and through gateways. Like we could probably go there and investigate and ask around. I mean,
you think she's still alive?
Or someone that knows her. I don't think she's dead. It's as far as I had heard, like the rumors that I had heard on like through the Merchants Guild and other trade pioneers is that she's involved with some shady stuff.
This woman. Yes, I would like to find her. Feryl's gonna touch her chest, like where that necklace used to sit. But she's not thinking about it, she's kind of doing it unconsciously.
Well, yeah, I think it's settled.
There's something about her. I don't know if she was a good person.
Does it matter?
I guess you're right. It doesn't matter. As long as I get to question her.